Good evening to everyone and welcome to today's session. Today we shall review one of the most disinteresting topic, inflammation in pathology. Why? Because everything at molecular level. We have to close eyes, hallucinate, imagine, and then only we can understand a topic like inflammation, which is the second chapter in any pathology textbook. First is cell injury, then inflammation. So we welcome our online students, Dr. Krishna, Harika, Sirisha, Brahmaramba, Anuja, Rohit, and everyone. Is the voice clear, doctor? Can you kindly punch into the chat window? Is the voice is loud and clear without any echo? Yes, that's good. But we will make it interesting. Acute inflammation. 1 mark in pathology generally comes from one of the cytokines and inflammatory mediators, which is a very, very important topic. I said disinteresting to read a textbook, not to listen. A easily packed session of inflammation. Once you understand inflammation, after all, rheumatology ultimately stands on the pillars of the basic pathophysiology of inflammation. Rheumatoid arthritis, inflammatory bowel disease, everything. And we are all in the modern era of monoclonal antibodies to counter the unnecessary inflammation in the body. So some of you want to become rheumatologists and top immunologists in future. I hope the topic of inflammation really makes a great importance for all of you. Now, doctor, acute inflammation, how is it mediated? Basically, there is a step called adhesion. First of all, there is a vascular endothelium. So the inflammatory mediator first need to adhere, it need to roll, it need to squeeze between the endothelium, and then it need to enter into the tissues, right? So adhesion is a very, very important first step in acute inflammation is what we need to remember. So who mediates the adhesion, doctor? Basically there are 4 families: selectins, integrins, cadherins, and immunoglobulin family adhesion products. These are the ones which mediate the process called as adhesion of the inflammatory cells to the vascular endothelium, which is the precursor event in the acute inflammation, is what we need to understand. So the inflammatory cell need to first roll, then adhere, then transmigrate, and ultimately there should be chemotaxis and activation of the monocyte macrophages. So these are the steps which are comprehensively called acute inflammation. So we have the molecules which are called selectins. For the rolling and adhesion, they are important. For the adhesion and transmigration of the inflammatory cell, we require integrins. So these 4 molecules we are going to discuss in a great detail, on which a lot of MCQs are asked. So first, cadherins, what are they? Basically they maintain a main role, fundamental role in the diapedesis of the lymphocytes and neutrophils, basically. So if you have one inflammatory cell, neutrophil has arrived. This is the vessel. It needs to squeeze itself and enter into the tissues. It needs to squeeze through the space between the cells of the vascular endothelium. For that, the one which is mediating that process of diapedesis of the inflammatory cell is the cadherin, is what you have to ultimately remember. Then we have the molecules which are called as selectins, one of the important adhesion molecule. You know interleukin 1 and TNF, no? These are the ones which will induce the appearance of these selectins. Once more, selectin, adherin, cadherin and integrin, these are all what? Adhesion molecules we are talking about. Within selectins, we have some of the subtypes of selectins. L selectins, E selectins, P selectins. One to comment about each of them. L selectins, where are they expressed, doctor? On the neutrophils. Neutrophil is one of the inflammatory cell in acute inflammation, right? You all agree with me? So, it is expressed on the neutrophil, this L selectin. What will it do? This endothelium, vascular endothelium, has got a mucin-like molecule called as glycam-1. So, the L-selectin expressed on the neutrophil will enable the neutrophil to bind to the endothelium's glycam-1. Blood is flowing in the vessel, doctor. Neutrophils are also flowing. In one of the tissues outside the vessel, this neutrophil should recognize that I need to go there because there is an inflammation in that area. How will it do? The neutrophil which is floating first need to stop, right? It need to adhere to vascular endothelium. Then it need to roll. Then it need to squeeze between the vascular endothelial cell. Then it will reach the tissue. There it will explode like a bomb. That is all acute inflammation, right? So, L-selectins need to be remembered because they are expressed on which cell is one of the common questions. On the neutrophils, they bind to the endothelium's mucin-like molecule called as glycam-1 is what need to be basically remembered. Then E-selectin, P-selectin, where are they basically seen? The vascular endothelial cells are there, no? They basically express it. And what will they do? On the surface of the leukocytes, there are oligosaccharides called as sialyl-Lewisham factor. To that, this E and P selectins will be binding. So, what is the difference between L-selectin and E and P selectins? L-selectin is expressed on the neutrophil, which enables the neutrophil to bind with the vascular endothelium. E and P selectins are expressed by the endothelium, and they basically will enable the leukocytes to bind to the vascular endothelium. So, why these P selectins are called P selectins basically? Ultimate idea is the leukocyte is passing in the blood. The selectin on the vascular endothelium or the selectin which is there on the leukocyte, whichever the way, will make it to stop and bind with the vascular endothelium, which is the first event in the acute inflammation. P selectins are called P selectins because in the vascular endothelium we have what are called as Weber-Pelade bodies, and they are basically stored in these Weber-Pelade bodies, and they relocate to the plasma membrane. And who make them to relocate to the plasma membrane? Histamine and thrombin. They will tell, it is the time P-selectin, don't keep sleeping inside the vascular endothelium in the Weber-Pelade body, come out to the surface, express yourself, the leukocyte is passing, and that leukocyte stop the leukocyte from swimming forward. That is what histamine and thrombin will be telling. That's the point about P-selectin. So let us see. You have a sialyl Lewis X modified glycoprotein. Where is it expressed, doctor? On the leukocyte. Then on the endothelium, what do you have, doctor? On the endothelium, you are having E-selectin and P-selectin. They basically bind with the CLI Lewis X modified glycoprotein. Directly on the leukocyte, what is expressed? L-selectin. That's the reason it's called with the vascular endothelium. So that is the story which you need to know. After adhesion, what is the next step, doctor?